What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com. And today I wanted to make a video for a player that I think just really deserves all the praise and all the recognition, and I think needs to be respected a little bit more after his performance in the AFC Championship. And by the thumbnail and the title of the video, you already know who that is. It's wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling. This video is a little bit overdue. I wanted to do something earlier, but I just got really busy with a lot of stuff. But I wrote about Marquez Valdes-Scantling for arrowheadaddict.com, and this video is just going to kind of be piggybacking off of that. For those of you that maybe don't read my stuff, or you don't like reading articles or whatever, I get that. That's why I have a YouTube channel after all. So let's talk about it. Valdes-Scantling. This was a guy that when the Kansas City Chiefs first signed him, a lot of people, it was kind of mixed emotions from Chiefs fans. A lot of people, this was right after the Tyreek Hill trade had just happened. The team signed Marquez Valdes-Scantling in free agency. And some people were going, okay, solid addition. And some other people were going, meh, this is the guy we're bringing in to kind of replace Tyreek, replace his production. You know, this is a guy that was a deep threat with the Packers, shaky hands. You know, he's decent, I guess. You know, people didn't know how to feel about it. And then, of course, the Chiefs, before that, also had brought in wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, but then they got rid of Tyreek Hill. So Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster were kind of expected to fill a lot of the void left behind by Tyreek Hill. And people weren't really sure what they were going to get out of Juju and MVS in these roles that the Kansas City Chiefs were now asking them to play. And, of course, Valdes-Scantling, he ended up having a lot of frustrating drops for this team. That was the one, real knock on him coming from Green Bay and really coming into the league is he drops a lot of easy passes. And we saw that with the Chiefs. And it was frustrating, and a lot of fans wanted to pull their hair out because of the MVS drops. He even dropped a wide-open touchdown during the regular season. But what is also true about MVS is that he catches the tough ones. He catches the big ones. And when you're in the postseason, every catch is a big catch. And guess what? MVS made all of his catches in the postseason. We saw against the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC Championship game, MVS rose to the occasion, and he absolutely carried that offense. I mean, 6 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown. Without MVS's contributions, the Chiefs simply don't win that game. And the same thing was true throughout the regular season, as MVS would always make the tough catches. I remember against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the regular season, MVS made a huge, basically one-handed catch, like 40 yards down the field at an incredible angle to basically ice the game for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he's done a lot of the things that the Chiefs brought him in here to do, to be that deep threat that takes the top off of the defense and can win down the field. And that's mostly what he's done. Double moves, posts, slants, verticals. That's really where he's thrived. And sometimes they've gone to him in the short passing game, the quick passing game, a quick slant or whatever. And he's been pretty productive on those too. Yes, sometimes he'll drop it and it's frustrating, but he seems to always come up with the most important catches. So yeah, everybody knows MVS had a big game. You appreciate it. I think everyone gets that for the most part. So why do I bring all of this up? Well, MVS has one of the more interesting contract scenarios this offseason. When MVS first signed that contract, it was 3 years, $30 million. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs can actually cut MVS after this year. They could also cut him after next year, and they would save a lot of money. A lot of the money in his 3-year, $30 million contract is funny money, not necessarily guaranteed. They could cut him, like I said, after this year. They would save $9 million, and there would be only $4 million in dead cap. So his contract is very team-friendly, and there's now a lot of people think that $10 million a year for MVS isn't really a great deal. In my opinion, in this wide receiver market, it is a fantastic deal. Mecole Hardman is projected to get $10 to $11 million per year in free agency this offseason by Spottrack.com. And Mecole Hardman is a guy that has been super frustrating for Chiefs fans in a lot of ways, just like MVS. Now, they're for different reasons, but McCole Hardman, he hasn't really done too much in this league. MVS is a guy that's basically guaranteed to give you 600 to 700 receiving yards every single year. He's just a reliable, quality receiver. Wide receivers are going for a crazy amount these days, and it's possible that the Kansas City Chiefs also lose Juju Smith-Schuster in free agency if they don't get an extension done with him, because the wide receiver market this offseason in free agency is just very weak. There's not a lot of guys. Teams that are desperate for a wide receiver will overpay. And so that's why I think MVS is super important, is because you don't know what's going to happen to Juju. There's a good chance McCole Hardman is gone. And then if you're getting rid of MVS, you're going to have to fill a lot of spots at the receiver position. And again, the free agent market for receivers is not very good. And then you're going to have to be spending an insane amount of draft resources at wide receiver. And then when you look at your receiver room, it's going to be a couple of rookies, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney. Guys, that is just not good enough. MVS is here on this team next year. Like, a lot of people talked about maybe cutting him. No, he deserves a spot on this team, not only because he's a quality receiver, but because you need him. You need bodies. You need quality guys with experience like MVS, not less of them. And I also kind of see MVS as the new Sammy Watkins. Yeah, frustrating player in the regular season. Again, for different reasons, kind of like I was comparing him to McCole Hardman. I'm comparing him to Sammy Watkins. They were frustrating for different reasons. Sammy Watkins, it was more due to health. MVS, it's just the production and the drops. But if he's going to perform like this in the postseason, there's no reason to move on from him. You should keep him. He deserves a spot on this roster. And if he can have another big performance in the Super Bowl, which they might need it from him, when you look at the health of the overall roster and the receiver room, he deserves to be here. And another thing that I talked about when the Chiefs first signed MVS that I think is really important for Chiefs fans to remember is that MVS spent the first 3 or 4 years of his career playing with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. And Aaron Rodgers is an elite quarterback. And a lot of times it helps when you have a receiver that played with an elite quarterback before coming to Kansas City, because they kind of just understand, they have that connection. And there's definitely a connection with Mahomes and MVS. There's a level of trust that Mahomes has with MVS. An example I point to is in the regular season versus the San Francisco 49ers. MVS had over 100 yards in that game. Mahomes just kept going downfield to him. There was also another sequence in, I can't remember the game, but it was a vertical route to MVS. Mahomes missed him the first attempt, and then they ran the exact same play for MVS because Mahomes is like, I know I can hit him. Ran the exact same play. MVS catches it the second time. And there's just that level of trust there. Like, MVS just kind of gets it. He knows what Mahomes is going to do. He knows what Mahomes is looking for, and that's why Mahomes is always targeting him. MVS had a career high in targets this year with the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's because MVS played with Aaron Rodgers, so he understands what it's like to play with an elite quarterback that is always improvising and looking downfield and trying to make a play. So, all in all, MVS has really come up huge for this team. And no matter what happens the rest of this postseason, I think he should be getting all the praise. Chiefs fans should either be giving him his flowers, or if they doubted him, they should be issuing MVS an apology, because he's a good receiver and he's come up huge for the Chiefs. I think he deserves to be on this team next year. And good for MVS. I'm really happy for the guy, and hopefully we can get another big performance out of him in the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles. So, that's all I got for this one, guys. I wanted to really just make a video kind of praising MVS because I think he really deserves it. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree with anything I said? Let me know. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com. And I will see you all in the next one. Go Chiefs!